Hi, and welcome to Coffee with Clint. Today we have Pirmin Reimeir, one of our illustrious master students, and welcome, Pirmin.
Hi.
Just want to ask you a few questions.
Sure.
Basically, one, why MCI? Why did you choose MCI in the beginning? Because you've been here since your bachelor's, actually.
Yeah, well, for me, as I've been here already for the bachelor, and I did my school here in Innsbruck, so I'm from around the area. And what I did is economical engineering in the school, and I did my engineering degree, and it was very technical, IT, and a little bit of mechanical engineering. And so I thought, what can be next? And in that time, I didn't was so fond of going abroad. I wasn't so sure about how to work out, as an Austrian guy, Tyrolean, we are not that open to the world sometimes, which of course has changed, of course, in
Yes.
MCI in the 5 years, so we come to that later. And so I thought, what could be the next step? And I was always interested in taking a bit more the management step, taking a bit the overall view, and also this communication part, because I'm actually quite extroverted, so I like to play the guy on the stage sometimes, and I have no problem with that, but I wanted to practice my skills in that and also to become better at that. And so I thought this concept of MCI also being there, on time, and you have to be there, and there's always these groups together, and it's all very oriented to the practice and not just learning theoretics from a book like a university sometimes is. And that was the approach for me suited it better. Then add to that I have some friends who also started the bachelor with me, so of course that always makes the decision easier. And so
Of course.
I started the bachelor. And of course, bachelor, you have your courses, the things you have to do, mathematics, whatever. Some people like it. I don't have a problem with it. I was always quite good at school, so I had never a problem with that, also studying. And then the interesting thing what came then was that we had a semester abroad at MCI. And that's where I went to Thailand, which may sound like an odd choice. And everyone was saying, oh, you're doing holiday there or whatever. But for me, it really shaped my personality a lot. It was the time when there was this flooding catastrophe in Thailand, and I also was affected by that. And this is something you don't get here in Europe because you're living in the
of course.
first
It's
world.
a whole
There is
different
no
culture.
catastrophe. People are approaching problems very differently. It was a problem of communication because even the students are not that good at English, at least at speaking. They can understand you, but I had to adapt to that. And I learned a lot from that, even if maybe from a subject side I didn't learn so many, but it's about the experience, the cultural experience, of course, every time you go abroad.
Right. How did you find the people there in Thailand?
The people are very open and friendly, so like what everyone says when he's going to holiday there. But I wasn't in Bangkok directly in the city. I was really on the countryside in the rural area, and there was like me, one friend from MCI, and 8 Germans. We were the only European or white people there, if I may call them so. And of course, you are like the attraction there. If you go into a bar and get into your table, they hardly can speak to you, but they want to communicate with you and they're interested in you. And it's just an interesting feeling also how people are taking you, because they are open and friendly. But if you want to become their friend, it's not that easy because they're quite private. They're quite private people. But if you get to know them better, they really open themselves up, and they embrace you like you're their best friend forever. And I still have contact now 2 years later with people from Thailand.
I would imagine people coming to Innsbruck would have also from another country would have the same experience. So you've experienced it now for yourself, what it's really like, instead of just being from Innsbruck.
I mean, and after that, I also embraced people coming here to Innsbruck differently, because I also knew that it's different moving to another country, not knowing anyone, probably. And because, the Austrians are quite friendly, but sometimes they can also be very private and they're not that open maybe to strangers or whatever. And so I tried to take apart from that and really dive myself into meeting new people here, which was then probably a nice transition. A reason why I chose the master's degree, which was in English. People from international schools coming here. I mean, we are from China and Finland and Spain. This is great. I liked meeting these people. Also, having the complete course in English was, for me, an important part of the program.
Study tour.
Yeah.
You were on the study tour, as I know, an integral part of that study tour. So your reflections on that.
I mean, the study tour, when we started the master, it was already set there going to be a study tour because you didn't know how this was going to work out. And then when we started it, of course, here at MCI, you always learn this Silicon Valley way, if I want to say it like that, this innovative way and being open and sharing. But then when you go there and you meet people there and you really learn how they work and that what they do, it works what they do. And it helps and it promotes also innovation and sustainability and all the things. And also, what I also learned is this Silicon Valley bubble, which I was surprised because, of course, it's a microcosm, Silicon Valley, and except from the housing prices or whatever, it's also nice to know that. And for me, what I also took from that is that networking there is easier than here. Because, as I said, I'm quite outgoing, but here it's not always easy to network because you always have like this shield that people have on them and they don't really approach you. But I mean, this could also be an American lifestyle thing. But over there, it was no problem. You talk to people, they give you your ID, your cards, your contacts, and you can anytime hook them up or whatever. And I mean, it's also said that Americans always pretend to be your friend, although they are not.
True, yeah.
But
true.
actually what I experienced is that this wasn't the case for a lot of them. It was really a genuine conversations where I had genuine interactions with guys there. And also, of course, from the things we learned, especially regarding startups, regarding the spaces they have, where they do their work, which is so very differently set up than companies here, as it's still very strict and or authoritarian, German, Austrian.
Yeah, they're more about keeping the lights on.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Yeah, as you learned, yeah, for sure. Plans for the future. What are you going to do?
Well, in my bachelor's, also as the last semester, we had the internship, and I did it in Germany, in Ingolstadt at Audi, in their product management, which was also interesting because I never thought that I would go into automotive industry or whatever, as I'm coming from an IT background. It's always hard, but I got in there. And I think from the skills I learned at MCI, especially regarding communication, everyone said this is especially what you're good at. I did quite well there. And so now I'm doing my master thesis there right now, actually.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just here for one day. You're lucky.
Yeah. Yes.
And in August I'm going to finish up the thesis. And fun thing is, tomorrow I have an appointment with my boss, and I'm going to talk about the future there, and I'm probably going to start there in September.
Great. Congratulations.
Without writing a
thesis
CV or whatever.
A thesis
or an application. So I think that's really shows how MCI, how worth the education is, because you're accepted and the people really value this education background, the communication background, which is so important.
Yeah, combining the two, the practical and the theoretical, is what we've always looked at as one of the great advantages to MCI. So yeah. Well, thank you. I really appreciate you being on the show.
You're welcome.
And good luck for the future.
You too.
Yeah. Any last words? Anything?
I don't know. Go abroad, please.
Okay. Great. Thanks, Pirmin.